Transformers96 here with another review. This time I'm reviewing the Batman Arkham City 2-packs, the Mr. Hammer and Harley Quinn 2-pack, as well as the Sickle and Penguin 2-pack. So yes, so these are two very newly released figures, and of course I did get them both packs. And yeah, so I got these both at Toy Anxiety because there's quite a few figures here and the boxes are pretty far back. I'm not going to show you the boxes, standard boxes for the 2-packs, and so yeah, so of course you get two completely new figures, which is Mr. Hammer and Sickle, the two twins, or not twins, but well, they might be twins. The two brothers at least, and they were both only in Arkham City, and one of them chose to be a henchman for Penguin, one of them chose to be a henchman for Joker. So that's why they are brothers, but they have split alliances. Pretty interesting idea for them, considering they're so similar, but at the same time they're polar opposites, which is just really neat. And I like the concept in the game a lot. So when they were kind of dwindling down on figures to make for Arkham City, I really did hope that they'd make these two. I would have preferred that they made them just in single packs or in a 2-pack together, but they didn't go that route. But that's okay. So yeah, so I'm not going to dwell on Harley Quinn and the Penguin. As you can see, I have the two that came in this 2-pack still mint in package. I haven't taken them out or anything, and that's just because I already had the figures, and there's only very slight differences in between those. So I'm not going to really do a whole big review of Penguin or Harley Quinn, but I will definitely show you the differences between the original and the new released versions of each of those figures. So yeah, so let's get that out of the way. Get the brothers to the side here. Let's just start off with, well, yeah, I guess we'll start off with Harley Quinn. Alright, so here's Harley Quinn, the old one and the new one that you obviously get in this set. As you can see, exact same. They are the exact same sculpt. Nothing different sculpt-wise. They're purely the same, and it's a very nice sculpt, very limited articulation, but a really nice design overall, except I've never really loved the face sculpt. I never thought that was really good, so I don't like the face sculpt. That's a personal thing. Nothing wrong with this new one compared to the old one. The old one, of course, you did get a base, as well as a bat, and yeah, she doesn't come with a base, and she doesn't come with a bat, so she has no accessories, so you do get a little less with this Harley Quinn rather than the original Harley Quinn. And then the only other difference is the red. The red's a lot brighter. See if you can really get a good shot. But the red is a lot brighter in this new pack, while this one's a darker, almost like a blood red, almost getting to kind of like a burgundy, while this one is a bright red, verging on pink. So definitely two different color, two different, totally different color schemes. I have to say the old one is definitely better. I like the darker red better. It just looks a lot better on her, and it's got a more realistic look, while this one is more, more cartoony, I guess. So overall, very slight difference in paint, and the original paint is better in my opinion. And overall, the Harley figure, is fairly decent. But if you really want my full opinion on the Harley figure, you can watch my review. So now the Penguin that you get with the Sickle pack, same exact sculpt, like I said. Accessory-wise, he does come with his top hat. You can see it in there. And then the original one comes with a umbrella and a cigar. He comes with both of those as well, and those accessories are exactly the same, nothing different. And then the actual sculpts are of course exactly the same, the only difference being the red. The red over here is a lot brighter, a lot more almost pinkish, just like Harley Quinn, while this is a lot darker red, with that light red kind of smoothed in there. This is a really light red, with another light red kind of smoothed in there. So, I like the original version even better on this one too. So the original paint versions I think are even better. What I would have liked to see with this pack is for them to do a repaint and kind of have him with the brown coat and everything, and to give you a new head and make it an Arkham Origins Penguin instead of just doing a really just pointless repaint. So yeah, there you go. But I do like the original Penguin figure. I really always have liked the original Penguin figure. So if you don't have the Penguin, then the Penguin's really good to have. If you don't have Harley Quinn, if you don't have the first version, or sorry, you don't have the second version, I don't know how great this this Harley Quinn actually is, but she's pretty okay. So yeah. So hopefully that just gets it out of the way. You can see the differences and kind of get a small summary of my opinion on the figures as well. But the real reason you're buying this and watching this review is to hear and to get Mr. Hammer and Sickle. So that's what I'm going to go over. Just to go over Sickle, probably the less interesting of the two, but still very nice. Let's get the lights. There you go. There we go. Alright, so first of all, Mr. Sickle, just Sickle, that works for the Penguin. The face sculpt is really nice, very ordinary, generic bad guy, brute kind of face. I mean, nothing too special there, but overall it is really well sculpted as well as painted. It looks quite realistic. Blue eyes, which works pretty well for it being Penguin, gives him that little icy kind of look. I like the mouth being open. It's a good expression and looks pretty decent. As far as the tattoos, he's got a few. He's got two nice penguin ones right on his chest, which looks nice. Kind of the red star, like a Russian kind of symbol thing, but I don't really know. Got some skulls and some letters there. Got a little kind of like wolf. On the back is where a nice big tattoo is. Nice big symbol. Really do like that a lot. I think it looks good. As far as the scarring is really great. It's well painted. As you can see, you've got a big scar just going down his body. It's been stitched up. And then another scar that has healed, which is where his arm was amputated, which looks just super cool. Really love that. I don't think they ever explain it, but if they do, I can't remember why both of them don't have an arm. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's probably something to do with their childhood or just a bomb that they were close to or something. And then he's got another scar just right on his collarbone. I think that looks nice. And then two small scars on his head, which look really good. He's wearing gloves with his fingers showing, which I think does look nice. It's painted really well. And his accessory, of course, is a big sickle. And that's hence the name. And overall, it's pretty good. He holds it fairly well. It's got some bandages right here. And the silver that they use is really nice. And it's well sculpted. It's focusing on everybody in the background. Hopefully. It's still not focusing. There we go. As you can see, it's really nicely done. Very worn, but very realistic. So I really do love the way that the blade's sculpted. He's wearing pretty generic army pants, but, it's fairly nicely painted, and I like the scoring on it. Kind of looks cool. He's got some bandages around his feet, and his feet are kind of dirty and stuff. So overall, I do like that. He does have a peg on his right foot. So yeah, articulation on him is pretty lacking in my opinion, but overall it's okay for Arkham. He's got a ball-jointed head, which does look up and down a bit and can go side to side. He's got ball-hinged shoulders, bicep swivel, hinge elbows, swivel wrist, and this doesn't stay in his hands super well if you try to move him, but if you just have him staying, it does stay in. Swivel wrist, swivel waist, ball-jointed hips that really are quite tight and only go out to like this far. It kind of feels like you're straining them when you move it, so I don't like that a lot. Ball hinge knees and swivel. I want to call this at like the boot, but where the kind of calf starts. So yeah. And one thing that I don't like is when you have either of the brothers standing, their feet aren't kind of like perfectly on the ground. They're a little out, like the foot, if this is the ground, the foot's it's kind of like this on there, which I don't really like, and that's on both of their feet, but they can still stabilize and stand fairly well. Unfortunately, neither of the brothers can do what I wanted them to do, which is, kind of have their arms like this and kind of rest the sickle or the hammer on their back, on their shoulder. I really kind of like that look, but you cannot do it because this doesn't bend far enough. Not really, I'm not like complaining about that because it would have to be a pretty good joint for them to be able to do that, and DC Direct is not known for good joints. So I'm not, super disappointed by that, but I would have definitely liked to do that. Alright, the Mr. Hammer now, the other brother. This one's definitely the more interesting one. I think the face sculpt's a lot better just because it's got a very similar expression. I don't know how much, if any, of this is actually like reused from Sickle as far as the face sculpt, because it does look extremely similar. So I'm not sure if it's just tweaked or if it's a completely new sculpt, but they are very similar. Really love the expression, the nose, and the hair. I really think it actually looks really nice. The tattoo's a lot more interesting. It's lots going on. Just to give you a look at that. very detailed, very cool, and the back is lacking though. Of course, only that. But who really cares? I mean, he's got a nice tattoo on his back, but who cares? This guy's got the nice tattoo on the front, so that's pretty nice. He does have like a Joker tattoo on his arm, which looks really cool. Love the way it's dripping, almost like it's spray painted. It's not really a tattoo, it's just spray painted. Really love that. He's got the bandages kind of on his arm, and he comes with this big hammer, which is a really cool accessory. A little hard to get in his hand, but once you do, he will hold it completely. You never have to worry about him letting it go or anything. It's painted to look like wood, which is nice. There is some like paint chipping on the bottom here, and I don't know if that's because putting it in his hand caused the paint to chip a little bit, or if it just came like that, because I cannot remember before I put this hammer in his hand if that was actually like that, so I'm not sure. But no matter what, just be a little careful when you're putting it in his hand, just to make sure that doesn't happen for you. He's got the kind of like the Arkham pants going on, the kind of whatever jail time kind of pants with the orange, and then it's, you know, got some lettering there. It's kind of ripped off at the bottom, and then he has the bandages and the barefoot just like his brother. Overall, they share a lot of similarities, and same problem with him about how his feet stand, like I said with Sickle, as well as same articulation. So they are both extremely similar. I mean, the body sculpts might even be the same, just the arms are moved around. I'm not sure how they did it, but I think that this one is definitely the more interesting one of the two. If I think that it's a little strange just to get one of these packs, but if you actually do want to get one of these packs, by far I recommend the Mr. Hammer one, because of there's just a great paint job and the more interesting kind of face, and actually better accessory. I just think that this one's better in a lot of ways. Just to give you guys a little comparison with kind of Joker with his whole crew, including Mr. Hammer. Just to give you guys a nice comparison, if you have some of the other Joker figures, that's how it's going to look. I really do like that. There is also another version of this Thug, which comes with a bat. I've always wanted to get that one, but I was waiting, and it just wasn't that important, so I just kind of forgot about it and never gotten it. Eventually, I will get that one, though, and have a real complete Joker with his Thugs. But it does look really nice because you can have Joker, Harley Quinn, and then you have two, or actually they've released 3 Thugs, so you can have a nice little group on your shelf. I really do like that. But with Penguin, of course, the Mr. Sickle, or sorry, just Sickle, I keep calling him Mr. Sickle, is the only Penguin Thug that has been released and is going to be released at this time. So if you just have Penguin, you'll just have this guy standing behind Penguin on your shelf. Overall, I think they're really cool and neat together. Is it worth it to buy it? There's lots of ways that it can be worth it. If you don't have Harley Quinn and you don't have the Penguin, and you're a big Arkham fan and you like the side characters, you're not just about the main characters, then yeah, these are both great packs to get, and I really do like them. If you have just Harley Quinn or just the Penguin, but you don't have the others, that's going to be really personal preference for you. If you're okay with only having one of the brothers, then get the brother who comes with the character that you don't have, whether that's Harley Quinn or the Penguin. And if you're like me, you have Harley Quinn and you have the Penguin, is it worth it? If you're a big Arkham fan and you like the side characters, I'm the kind of person that likes side characters. Just the more unique, the better for me. So I really do enjoy when they do packs like this of figures that they definitely could have never released, but they did decide to release. So I definitely like that for that. I think that this is, DC Direct trying to pocket a little cash before they start coming out with more of the origin figures, because of course they can just release 2 figures and get you to buy 2 packs, and so that's how they'll make a decent amount of money. But just be that as it may, it's really personal preference. It's which figures you already have, how you feel about these side characters, and then make your decision. Overall, they're pretty cool. They're nice. There's not a whole lot that you can do with them because, of course, they only have one arm, and their articulation, although there's a nice amount of joints, it's quite hindered, and it's quite just, you really can't do much with them. So they're basically going to be shelf pieces, but I think that they are nice shelf pieces at that. So as long as you're okay with that, and you know that, and you're still good with it, then these are going to be really cool figures for you. These are definitely figures that you're going to have to do some thinking on, and definitely not ones that you can just go out and buy. It's definitely going to be a lot of personal preference and what figures you already have. So there you go. So that's my review of the 2 Arkham 2-packs from Arkham City, Mr. Hammer and Harley Quinn, as well as Sickle and the Penguin. Thanks for watching.